Finally completed automatic transmission model from Thingiverse, posted originally by the user Emmett. Probably 20 to 30 hours of print time have gone into making this. A lot of it was just mistakes and weird things that I did, and reprinting pieces. Basically, I printed this once, didn't work. I threw most of it out. I saved the gears, and then I reprinted it again. It was built on 3 different 3D printers. It was built on a Wistek, which is like a cheap Chinese knockoff, a MakerBot 2X, a Replicator 2, and an Ultimaker original. It's pretty awesome, actually. So it's fully made out of PLA. Everything's printed at 0.3 layer height with 25% density, except for the carrier and the crank, which are at 40% density. And it's a full planetary gear set that'll do 6 speeds in reverse, which is actually ridiculous when you think about it. The way he laid it out is he's got your front planet, your carrier, your back planet, and then the annulus, which is the output, which is horribly painted. The indents that he did for the markings are too shallow to actually get paint in there and not have it splotch around. So yeah. So you basically work it by actuating different brakes. There's a brake here, which will do second and reverse. There's a brake here, which will engage first and third. And there's a brake here, which will do fourth and sixth. Fifth gear is actually driven directly on the carrier. You basically move the clutch, which is the shaft, in and out in different directions to get the different gears. Right? So, for example, we get ourselves over to first gear, right? So I put it in first, the clutch is all the way out. I lock this first brake for this, I unlock everything else, and I end up with, well, if it locks, and I end up with this nice ratio of, I think it's 4.58 to 1, so you can see, I'm cranking pretty lightly here, and it's taken a lot for rotations to happen. As you can see, the tolerances are not great, and the carrier actually came out slightly warped. You can kind of catch it there with the light that hits it. So yeah, there's just a lot of stuff with PLA and printing that this is like the best you can get. I could go to a finer layer height and it would be different, but it'd be also like triple the time, and also wouldn't be that much better. But still pretty cool. Alright, so first you go all the way back in, out of here. Alright, you flip these brakes out, and you engage this brake down here, and that gets you second. Sorry. Yes. That gets you second, and you'll notice that one of my planets is jammed up. So second isn't totally... Oh, there it goes. That gets you second, which is slightly better. It's like something like 3 to 1 in that range. You go to third, right? So you pull this piece back out to here. You disengage this brake. You re-engage the 1 and 3 brake, and you get third, right? Which again, push it that way. Like that. Right now you go for fourth. You go back to your second position. Disengage this brake, engage this back brake here, and get out with fourth, which again, is again under geared. You're still below 1 to 1, but it's closer, right? Then you go here, and you go like this, and you get yourself into this position. You're driving the carrier, and you are at 1 to 1. Right? Open up all the brakes. So basically, you're just driving the carrier directly, and you get a 1 to 1 rotation. And then sixth, which is overdrive, which is the only gear that's under 1 to 1. You lock this back brake here. You go here to 6 on the clutch. Unlock everything else. And you end up with, now I'm going, I think it's like 0.75 to 1. So it's overdrive. Yeah, as you can see, that brake falls in. To give you an idea of how fast, this thing can rotate relatively fast. Yeah, well, that just disengaged it. It can rotate relatively fast, which is really awesome. I spun it with a drill yesterday and it worked pretty well. And then last piece would be reverse, right? So you go back up here, you disengage these brakes, go all the way to the back this way, right? So this is we're back to first gear, right? Without the lock, and then you lock up reverse, and it causes the wheels to spin backwards. And now you're in reverse. Yeah, so then I can actually flip that down, flip this up, and we're back in first. Overall, this thing is just really cool. It's really nerdy, and I still love it though. It's super awesome. I printed this at TXRX, so if you guys are anywhere in the Houston area and you can get down there, get down to TXRX Labs, they have an amazing space with like 30,000 square feet and every tool imaginable. You know, I just use it for the 3D printer services. You know, anytime you get there, you can print out a 3D printer, but there's so much more you can do, and the community there is fantastic. But this is my planetary gear stuff.